There comes a point in every dream journey when wanting the dream is no longer the only question. At first, the question is, do I still have hope? Do I still believe? Am I allowed to want more? Can I get clear on my vision? And can I stop comparing my life to everyone else's long enough to focus on what is meant for me? But eventually, a different question shows up, and it's this: can my life hold the dream I say I want? Can my mindset hold it? Can my habits hold it? What about my vision, my discipline, my systems? Can my support hold the dream I say I want? Dreams are beautiful, but dreams also ask something of us that is huge. They ask us to grow, stretch. They ask us to build capacity. Welcome back to How to Dream. I'm Deedee Cummings, and this is episode 7, Build the Life That Can Hold Your Dream. Today, I'm bringing in someone whose story fits this conversation perfectly. My guest today is Adrienne Cole, the visionary behind the House of Marigold, and a growing hospitality brand that continues to expand with creativity, excellence, and heart. And since we first outlined this episode, Adrienne has had some major moments that I want to name to demonstrate to you the magic that happens when you just keep taking steps. She's been recognized nationally and featured by Ebony magazine and was recently a huge part of the Ebony Sensory Soiree. And again, recognized nationally, most recently through coverage that notes her inclusion on Inc.'s Female Founders list, and she was selected for the James Beard Foundation Women's Entrepreneurial Leadership Cohort. If you know anything about food, you know the name James Beard. These are beautiful achievements and well-deserved in the life of someone I call a friend. Adrienne's story is not just about having a dream. It's about building the kind of life, leadership, and structure that can actually hold one. This season has been building us one step at a time, from protecting hope to finding peace to building clarity. So now we arrive here. Once you get your hope back and gain your clarity, you still have to build. And that is what today is about. Not just having a dream, building a life that can hold it. Adrienne Cole is a powerhouse entrepreneur from my hometown, Louisville, Kentucky, and a visionary in hospitality. From managing high-volume restaurants to opening her own cafe, to building the Marigold Catering Company with her husband, Chef Chris Cole, to innovating in the middle of the pandemic with the Marigold Mobile Bar and the Golden Girls, Adrienne has continued to grow, be bold enough to ask what's next, and dream bigger. Then came the House of Marigold, a beautiful, welcoming restaurant experience built with care, intention, vision, and style. And what I love so much about Adrienne's story is that you can hear the dream expanding in real time, not just through talent and dedicated hard work, but through courage, innovation, service, leadership, and the ability to think beyond the moment she is in. Adrienne, I'm so happy to have you here. Welcome to How to Dream.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's talk about your journey because I'm just totally fascinated. I love watching your social media, and congratulations on all of the recent things that have happened, the James Beard Leadership Cohort and the Ebony Soiree. Tell us about that.
Thank you so much for having me. No, it feels like a whirlwind. um, Everything moves so quickly now. No, the James Beard cohort, what an honor. That was an 11-week cohort that I was honored to be a part of with the Woman of Leadership Entrepreneurial cohort. There was about 20 women, all owners in the hospitality industry. We discussed everything from growing our business to gaining capital for our business, future plans for our business, what it looked like to have investors, and the different paths in order to get to where we are. And then we had real conversations on, what it's like to staff a restaurant and how it is to struggle through making payroll every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And, what it's like to have toxic employees in a leadership position.
Yeah.
So we had real conversations, and it was wonderful. It was absolutely cup filling to the point that we still, outside of our cohort, try to meet every 2 weeks and just have conversation and keep in touch. And we have now grown to become a true group of wonderful women leaders that can lean on each other. And that's been wonderful. And, the honor with Ebony to be a part of their sensory soiree was incredible. So when they messaged us to be the partner this year, I jumped on it. Absolutely. Why would we not?
Oh, absolutely. I follow Ebony Magazine on Instagram, and I was just scrolling one day and your face popped up, which I wasn't surprised that your face popped up because I follow you too. But then I saw that it was an Ebony Magazine post and I screamed. What an honor. That was so awesome.
Honor.
Yeah, that was so
It's
awesome to see you. You went from front of house leadership to a cafe to your own catering company. And now you have this beautiful restaurant with all kinds of innovative hospitality experiences, the House of Marigold, which I have been to several times, and it's absolutely beautiful. When you think back about that progression, your journey, what do you believe each chapter was building in you?
That's such a wonderful question. And it genuinely does go back to my husband. Chris saw something in me when we worked together, when I started off in front of the house management, that I didn't necessarily see in myself. And he was like, "You are such a wonderful leader, and you need to do this for yourself." He said, "You have proven that you can do this for other people. You should shoot your shot."
That's beautiful. I love that. When you look back now, what do you think the dream was in the beginning? Was it always this big, or did the dream grow as you grew?
No, the dream was to have Saturdays and Sundays off with my family, being in restaurants for years. That's what you do. That's when you make your money, was Saturday and Sunday. So having that opportunity to go and open this wonderful little corporate cafe inside this building that was closed on Saturday and Sunday, so there was no opportunity to operate, was like really cool to me. And to work for myself and work from 7 to 2. So genuinely, when I started entrepreneurship, it was because I just wanted flexibility in schedule. And I think a lot of people think that's what that is if I work for myself, then I can write my own schedule and I get to determine when I want to work. And that is wonderful if you are not ambitious. If you are ambitious, you quickly learn that there are no days off. There is not a time that you are not working on or in your business. And so it was a cute idea when I started. I was going to have Saturdays and Sundays off, and it lasted for a moment in time before I quickly looked at Chris and said, how do I make myself more accessible to the community? How do I get something that's forward facing?
Yes.
And so, yeah.
Well, people see things, like all the national accolades like Ebony, and they think that it's all up from here. But I'm wondering what you think people don't see. What did it cost you emotionally and mentally to keep going long enough for the dream to catch up to you?
Oh gosh, no, it's a lot of sleepless nights. It's a lot of when I first started with the catering business,
Mm,
back in 2019, it was something I'd never done. I wasn't a caterer. That's not the world I came from. I was
mhm,
a front of the house manager, and before that serves fine dining server, and just worked my way through it. And
mhm,
so catering was never really anything I did besides a couple of events during Derby,
mm,
as a young
mhm,
server. So
mhm.
catering was really boots on the ground, learning how to navigate everything. And so no, there are many sleepless nights that you go back and forth on,
Absolutely.
and stress about, and you talk to different purveyors, and restaurants and catering, food service in general, operate on such a small margin of profit, so you have a lot of weight on you
Yeah,
to get. Yeah.
definitely. I can't imagine the pressure that comes with that. Take me to a low point. We talk about the realness of
Hmm.
dreams. Let's talk about a season where it would have been so easy for you to give up and what was happening and what kept you from giving up.
Well, I guess I would probably say we've had a couple of those seasons.
Yeah. Yes, we are.
So I would say genuinely, and it's funny that it's been 6+ years. It's COVID, right? We were
Right.
very new to our business, and just starting in this industry, and had the contract at the Waystar building down in downtown Louisville, where we were the private corporate cafe operators for the employees of the building. Well, COVID comes, and everyone goes to work from home.
Mhm.
Um, so we have to lay off the employees of the cafe. We have to um, figure out what we're doing. And when I say the day that they closed the world was the day we closed on our home. We
Oh,
signed the papers to
wow.
close on our home. And we were, in one hand, so excited, like, okay, well, wonderful. We'll have a few weeks to spend in our house with our kiddos and
Yeah.
do some renovations and have some fun stuff. And then we quickly realized, 3 weeks in is past, and that's not looking like we're going back to anything. And
Right.
we just signed and closed on this home, and we just started this business. And, you know, Chris left his job, and what are we going to do? Um, and that was I was like, how we are going to not fail.
Yeah.
And that was the first time that I was like, so what does failure look like to you? And for me, genuinely, I was like, I did not want to, as a Black woman, I did not want anyone to look at me and point a finger and be like, I told you so. I
Oh,
told you,
yeah.
I told you she wouldn't make it.
Yeah.
I told you she couldn't do it. And I was absolutely going to prove anybody who doubted me
Mhm.
wrong.
Yeah,
I
that's a
was
lot of
going I
pressure.
was Yeah, I was going to be successful. I was going to win. I was not going to not keep going.
Right.
And so I said, Chris, what are we going to do? I, he said, well, let's do take and bake meals. So we started doing take and bake meals, and that was sustainable for a moment. And Chris and I were looking at each other like, well, what do we do?
Mhm.
And we kept going. We had the kitchen at the Waystar building, so we were still able to use it.
Mhm.
We started promoting Chris as a private chef, an in-home chef. We would do these lovely socially distanced private in-home dinners for people, and come in and do great dinners. We reached out to Metro. Metro had a COVID relief loan. We applied for that and got that. I took every single dollar from that COVID relief loan and then invested it into this business because I wasn't going to fail. And we figured out how to create an experience with the bar side of the business. And I went down a rabbit hole and tried to figure out how to create the mobile bar business. And so we took every bit of our losses and we flipped it. And the growth was wonderful. That was the opportunity to get out from that low time. And by 2021, we had launched the mobile bar business. So we really pushed through that year to not be what I thought people would look at as a failure. Now, my definition of failure has changed since then tremendously, but then that was what I believed was could be considered failing.
Wow, what an amazing business you have. Like I said, I've been to the restaurant several times. It doesn't look like it was hard to buy into that idea. This concept is very unique. There's no other restaurant like the House of Marigold in all of Louisville. When you're tired, discouraged, or second guessing everything, what's your real life practice? What do you do on those bad days to keep moving?
I genuinely disconnect. I am an empath, and I am the leader of my business, and I absolutely understand that. And so I understand that I am looked at solely to lead. And so when my battery is zero and I have no more, I don't have the ability to lead anymore, I retreat to my room. I retreat to my space. I light a candle. I sit in stillness. I enjoy what I like to enjoy. I love Legos. It provides me the ability to focus on something other than work, still keep my hands and brain moving, and then not scroll. And then I am a little bit of a fashion girly. So I love to shop and, Legos and alone time and a nice candle is the way I find myself.
That sounds highly productive, very productive.
Yeah.
I love when people use their me time to still build.
I think I've done like every floral. No one's shocked by that. I love it. It's just my way to, and then we've got 3 teenagers. So as much time as we can spend before they're gone, we try to do that.
That's good. I love that you are cognizant of spending time with them before they're gone, because so many people have teenagers and all they can focus on is hoping that they'll soon be gone.
Well, honey, there's days for that too now, know.
You were selected for the James Beard Foundation Women's Entrepreneurial Leadership Cohort. What did that recognition mean to you, and what did it affirm for you about your leadership?
James Beard is the epitome of hospitality.
Absolutely.
That is our industry marker. It's quite literally, Mama, we made it, right? When you are recognized by James Beard.
Literally.
And that is what you feel.
Yeah.
I try to live in the most humble of space that I can. That recognition was more than I ever imagined. I never dreamed to be recognized by James Beard because I never really envisioned myself to be as worthy, right? And it was my husband's dream and his brother's dream to be, James Beard recognized chefs. And we've worked with chefs that have, cooked in the James Beard house. So for me to have the honor was just over the moon. really, really over the moon, and really one of those things that I'm thankful that I have the women around me that see that accomplishment and celebrated me at the level I know my mother would have celebrated me if she was here.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yes.
Wow. You have shared that you can see this dream becoming bigger. And what I love about this is that all season long, we've been talking about the fact that we are allowed to want more, that it's not greedy or selfish. And our last guest that we had on, we spent a lot of time talking about the question, what's next? And now I feel like you are in that season of asking yourself, what's next? You've shared that you can see this dream you currently have becoming even bigger with multi locations, and you're doing it without shrinking, without apologizing for it, and without talking yourself out of it. What allows you to do that?
Yeah, now I'm blessed. And blessed to be on this earth and blessed to have the ability to live this life. And I'm thankful that I have people around me that see what we are doing and see this in the same regard as myself, that give me the strength and the support to continue to push this initiative forward and push this brand forward. I never dreamed that the House of Marigold would be what the House of Marigold is, that the Marigold brand would be what it is, that we would have the ability to be a multi-unit restaurant space. And the way it makes me feel is more than I could probably genuinely express, because it's more than I dreamed of. So now I sit in the space of just I'm excited and ready to do it, and ready to really be that example to the industry, to women in the industry, to women that look like me in this industry that maybe don't necessarily get this opportunity to grow something and create something at the level that we have. And so it's my duty to take this and run with it. And I'm excited. And there's so much more to come. And what we've learned is that we do this really well, and we want to continue to do this really well, and we want to share that with the world, and we want to share that with this industry. And it's important for the hospitality industry to see more leaders that look like me pushing this initiative forward and bringing the food space to a community and national recognition level. It's extremely important, and I understand the level of the responsibility on my shoulders, and I'm thrilled to have it.
Well, I'm thrilled to watch. This has been a beautiful, beautiful journey. And so this episode is about building a life that can hold a dream this huge, a dream that, like you said about the James Beard Foundation, these are things that we can't see when we first get started. So for the person listening who has a real dream about the potential for their life, but they don't feel like their life was built to hold that level of a dream yet, what would you say to them, and where should they begin?
It is about baby steps. It really is genuinely about being intentional. Every step has to be intentional about why you are taking it and where it is leading you to. That has been something that we have conversation about weekly in our leadership meeting is, intentionality. What is, why did we create this experience? What is the next experience? How do we intentionally make people feel well and welcomed and excited to be a part of what we are doing? It is taking the opportunity to see yourself as the person that you know you are, and that a dream is your reality, and that dreamers can make everything come true. That's every small business, every big business started off as a small business, started off as a dream from one person.
I love that you said dreams are reality. Why do we think that? Why does this world have us convinced that dreams are not real?
They are absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that is large started off as an idea, a dream, a thought, a hope, a wish in someone's heart that this could happen, you know?
Absolutely. Yes.
And I think that everybody who has a dream, it is just about taking those intentional baby steps. It's looking at your path. It's blocking out the outside noise and worrying about what other people are going to think about you, because it's not your business to worry about anybody else's thought about you.
That's a word. That's the truth. Adrienne, this has been such a rich conversation, and I feel so blessed that you're even willing to share some insight on your huge dream with me. Thank you. I have to say too that I'm so proud of you. I met you when you were probably just a teenager, and it's been just an incredible journey to have a seat at watching this dream explode in all the best ways. And I'm grateful you shared the real story, not just the highlights, because that's really what everyone needs to hear as inspiration. And this is exactly how someone builds their dream step by step.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you so much. I am a dreamer. I am a open book. Life looks like a Pinterest board, honey, but it is just all. It is all just a collage of dreams posted on a vision board that we pray comes together. So
yes,
thank you for having me. Thank you for allowing me to share my dream. Thank you for supporting me all these years. I love you tremendously.
I love you
too. Thank you.
Thank you. I am so honored to have had Adrienne on this show. I want to take a moment and name what I hope you heard in that conversation. I want you to be inspired by this journey and know that there is room for all of our dreams. I hope you heard first that dreams often grow in chapters. The cafe was a chapter. Catering was a chapter. The mobile bar is a chapter. The restaurant is a chapter. And even now, the dream is still expanding with a new restaurant location on the way. This is important because some people think if they do not have the whole dream all at once, then they do not really have a dream. But that's not true. The dream unfolds as you build the capacity to hold it. Second, I want you to remember that a hard season does not automatically mean a dream is over. Most often, a hard season forces innovation. It reveals resilience and stretches you to limits you had no idea lived inside of you. A hard season introduces a version of the dream that you would have never discovered if it weren't for that hard season. Third, I want you to hold on to the fact that support, systems, and structure matter. A dream needs more than desire. It needs leadership, process, timing, discernment, help, vision, the humility to know where you are strong and where you need help. And fourth, your dream may be bigger than your first version of it. That does not mean where you are now doesn't matter. It means where you are now may be preparing you for what's next. And that is a powerful thing to remember. We heard that this season through multiple testimonies, including my own, then Kayla's, and now Adrienne. I want you to hold on to these stories as we breathe this week. Our season is quickly coming to an end, and I'm struggling with that. This podcast was a dream for me, a true example of the fact that you cannot predict where life will take you or whose life you might touch. I am definitely going to do a second season, but I'm not sure I'm going to include this part on breathing. We may focus on something else next season, but if we don't include the part on breathing, I want you to remember how powerful it has been to take this time to sit with your breathing. Get off the hamster wheel for 15 minutes and do this for you because you deserve this time for yourself. So let's get comfortable and get ready to breathe. Let's take a deep breath in. Hold it. Now let it all the way out. Again, deep breath in. Hold it. Now let it all the way out. Now we're going to move through our Makeaway mindset steps, and we're going to start with a simple reset by saying to ourselves, I do not have to have everything at once. I can grow in chapters. I can build the capacity to hold what I want. My dream is allowed to grow as I grow. I really like that last one. I'm going to hold on to that. Let those ideas settle into your spirit. Now we're going to name it. Name the place in your life where you may not yet fully be ready to hold your dream. What is the gap? Is it your mindset? Your confidence? Is it the time you're dedicating to your dream? What about your habits, your system, your support? Is it your financial structure, your courage, your consistency? And here's a really big one. Is it in your willingness to ask for help? A lot of us have trouble with that. We've got to ask for help. There are so many resources out there. Your dream can move faster when you're getting support for your dream. So I want you to name it honestly. Name the place where your life may not yet fully hold your dream. This is not to shame ourselves. Remember, we're not into shame. This is not to hold us back. This is so we are telling ourselves the truth and getting real about how we begin to build our dream. Let's work on shifting a thought that might have been holding us back. We're going to move from the thought of I'm not ready. That's the thought that's holding us back. I'm not ready. And we're going to change that thought to I can build readiness. Or how about this thought? My dream is not too big. I just need to grow with it. And here's another thought you can hold on to if you've been struggling with feeling like you're not ready. One chapter will prepare me for the next chapter. Choose one of these new thoughts to replace the idea that you're not ready or come up with your own. Hold on to the new thought. Don't let the old thought hold you back. Now we're going to work on building our dream step by step, and I want you to think about the answers to these 3 questions. What is the dream that I am trying to hold? What kind of life do I need to build that would help me hold the dream well? What is one thing I need to build or strengthen in my life to get ready for my dream or to keep dreaming? That one thing might be a new routine or system. Maybe you need a new savings habit. Maybe you need to continue this work and keep working on a stronger mindset, better boundaries, support for your dream. Maybe you need a new circle around you, one that allows you to dream and does not hold you back. You might need more knowledge, more discipline, or maybe you need more courage. Write down one real answer, and then we're going to work on taking one small doable step by telling ourselves within 24 hours, I will strengthen my capacity for my dream by, and then fill in the blank with something you promise yourself you will do in 24 hours, whether that's creating one small system or asking for help, making one call, researching one path, organizing one area of your life. Maybe you're going to set one boundary, protect 1 hour, or write out the next chapter. But whatever you decide to do in the next 24 hours, make it something real, something doable, something you will do in the next 24 hours, because dreams get stronger when the life around them gets stronger too. Here are our affirmations for this week. My dream is allowed to grow. I am allowed to grow with it. I do not have to have everything figured out up front. I can build the life, the habits, and the capacity to hold what I am called to create. I want you to think about this prompt for the week. What would I need to strengthen in my life to hold and protect my dream? That's the question. Stay with this work. It takes courage and it takes time, but it is so worth it. That is why I have brought on a couple guests this season, because I want you to see ordinary people just like you and me doing extraordinary things. Sometimes the next level is not just about wanting more, it's about getting ready to carry more. And this is why I believe that you are not behind, because your journey, your path, your lane has been getting you ready to carry more. If this episode spoke to you, I want you to write down these 3 things. I want you to write down the dream that you are holding in your heart. One gap between your current life and that dream. And one thing you can begin strengthening this week to take a step towards that dream. Keep it simple. Keep it moving. And if you are walking through this season with me, make sure you have downloaded the first chapter of How to Dream, which I have included right here in the notes for this show, because this is the kind of reflection that turns inspiration into structure. And I'll see you in the next episode, where we will keep protecting our hope and get our dreams in motion.